YouTube. So welcome once again. I'm really excited to be here with you today. My name is Edgar, and I'm your lead mentor today. So for the session today, it's going to be exciting. Low-code environment. We are going to see how we can build these amazing apps using Copilot Studio, and I would really love by the end of today, everyone just go ahead and create just one agent, just test it out. And also, just a reminder, I noticed that most of the students haven't yet activated their accounts. So there are two accounts that we provided. The first account was the Makoching Lab. So that's from our website. Go ahead and activate that account, and we already have some courses provisioned. So you can just go ahead and, yeah, it's a self-paced sessions where you can go ahead, start learning, and yeah, you can do all those. The second one is our organizational email. So the organizational email is very important because now that's what will make you access next week's the lessons or the lessons that we will be going through till we complete. So those accounts will help us to access the Microsoft ecosystem. So that's our platform. We have Microsoft Foundry, we have Microsoft Fabric, we have Azure. So, and yeah, to access all the AI models that we have during this mentorship period. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. And tell me please if you will be able to see my screen. Yeah, so first thing first, we uploaded the new courses. And these new courses, you can find it directly from our website, login as learner. And I noticed our dark mode is not really showing, so we are fixing that. So if you're not seeing other content well, you can always feel free to switch to light mode. And when you switch it on, you can go over to courses. And yeah, because I already signed up, you can be able to see we have Ujuzi Hub lined up for us. So the courses are in there, just follow along. After every course is complete, we actually have some quizzes. These quizzes are rated. And yeah, whenever you also feel stuck, we have our AI Twitter or our AI tutor over here. So you can always go ahead and ask our AI tutor where you got stuck, because it really understands uh, the whole concept and we have trained it enough that it knows everything about this mentorship session. And we also have it directly from here. So you can just go ahead, chat with it. And yeah, and if you feel stuck, you can always come here to mentors, and yeah, you can message any of our mentors. So our mentors are all live. You can always do a quick DM, ask anything that you feel you are stuck. Just go ahead, feel free to ask, because we are here to help you. So yeah, we have the mentors where you can just go ahead, search a mentor that you want, and you can go ahead and message them with a problem that you have. Apart from that, you can actually write blogs on our website and submit them. And we also track your progress. So, for example, in this demo lesson, you can be able to see that so far this account has completed 2 lessons. So far, it hasn't attempted any quiz. We have 0 district and yeah, milestone. And so it's tracking everything. And most of important, because we are giving badges. So if you're always up there, your streak is high, you are following up on all the lessons, you are always there ahead, yeah, you'll be able to get these badges. And lastly, we have certification. So certification, this will come at the end of the mentorship period after you have successfully uh, completed everything. And yeah, you'll be able to get a certification for this. And the best thing is leaderboard. we can be able to see how many people are competing. Currently, we've seen Brian is over there. Yay, go Brian. So we have Brian who's actually leading. And yeah, this you can get this point by streaks, the lesson completed, the daily streaks that you have, and the lessons. Yeah. So that's how you can. We want to keep it competitive because we don't want to leave anyone behind. And at the end of it, all we want to ensure that everyone achieves uh, yeah, everyone achieves what he or she aimed to achieve. So apart from that, today we are going to majorly focus on Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio is going to be our major focus today, and we are going to see how we can be able to create these agents from scratch. And yeah, how can I describe Copilot Studio? So Copilot Studio is a local environment where any we don't need any coding skills to start with Copilot Studio. Just lessons, just know how you can be able to add in instructions, how you can be able to add in knowledge, how you can be able to connect with external data and extend its capabilities. So in my explanation, Copilot Studio is a local environment where we can be able to create apps and AI systems using a local environment and a local platform. So it connects with Microsoft ecosystem, which means we can be able to bring in knowledge from uh, the Microsoft ecosystem. So let's say you have knowledge that is in SharePoint, you can be able to bring this knowledge inside Copilot Studio. We can be able to connect our OneDrives. We can be able to upload documents. So apart from that, we have external connectors. So let's say, for example, you have documents that are residing inside your computer, your file explorer. We can always bring these documents to our Copilot Studio, train it, and it will be able to be read. So it's a local environment. And yeah, let's start with the overview. So in the overview, this is an example of how we can build a Copilot agent. And one of the use case we have is when I log out of here, and go back to my home page, you can see this our agent icon. So this agent icon actually is powered by Copilot Studio. So this is one of the use cases that you can have using Copilot Studio. What can Copilot Studio do for you? The first thing is you can be able to create bots. So imagine creating WhatsApp bots. I know mostly in Kenya, we all depend on bots that make payments, bots that are actually built for the African stack. You know, we all depend on mobile money like M-Pesa and so on. Having this bot that can be able to automate these processes, a bot that can be able to understand the African stack, that's what we are trying to build. So we can be able to build a bot for WhatsApp, we can build Telegram bots, we can build Teams bots. And yeah, all this is integrated within our own platform. Apart from that, we can also build bots that we can be able to make them appear on our website. For example, this is one agent that we have, and it helps to actually, whenever our users are actually stuck when using our platform, they can go to this bot and ask any question and it will be able to reply them. But I can do a quick question. Let me say, tell me about this platform. So let's see if it's understand. Yeah. Uh, Let me try to increase my screen. Hopefully you can see. Now, this is how our Mac AI is doing. You see, it has been integrated with our system, which means it fully understands whatever is happening inside our platform. So it begins by a simple hello, welcome to Makocheng Lives. I'm here to explore the programs, help our users to understand the mentorship period, the mentorship programs, help to choose the learning paths, and yeah, how to start or volunteer with us. So I went ahead and so you can be able to see this labs is a mentorship driven, so it's learning based on project platform. So it connects aspiring technologies, which are our mentors. Our mentors are the best. And yeah, I'm really happy that our mentors are really here to help you out and to make sure that you understand what is really happening. So it connects with aspiring technologies and experienced mentors to help build product grade and projects like in Power Platform, Azure, we have that engineering, we have the .NET and so on. So the next step, if you want to learn more, we have the Skills Hub, which is where you can go and apply from the Skills Hub. We have for-time agents and that. So this is just an explanation of how you can use Copilot Studio to build such a powerful agent. So let me take a look. So I'm trying to zoom out. Okay. So let's go back to Copilot Studio. And yeah, so from Copilot Studio, we can be able to build such agents in a local development. And very important thing, let's go through the whole overview, how to start with agents. So the first thing is giving that app that you're building a name, a description, what is it going to do, and how is it going to help. So we can be able to give it instructions. So for example, in our instructions, we told it that you are an official AI assistant for Makocheng Labs, and your role is to help every visitor in the website to understand who we are, what you are doing, and everything that you are working for. So the instructions are so important in this case that it actually tells the agent to know how it's going to behave, you know. So it's like telling it like your role is this, your name is this, and your main purpose is to do this, this, and this. And it will understand that better and it will actually do everything. You are the master at the end of it all. And in this age of AI, this is what I always say. In this age of AI, be the best prompt engineer. I was talking in another session that a week, and in that session, we were talking about good prompts and bad prompts, and how these prompts can uh, they do affect the outcomes that we get. And prompt engineering in the age of AI is the most important skills. And I really urge you all. I think we'll bring a course on prompt engineering one of these 4 months. I really urge you all to master the art of prompt engineering. So prompt engineering comes in, uh, it's like being a programmer. If you're good at prompts, it's like you are the best programmer, and the best programmer always comes up with the best systems. So as a good prompt engineer will always come up with the best projects. And when we are talking about prompt engineering, now imagine we are in a situation where uh, actually companies don't really care if you know code. So because we all have these AI models, talk of cloud, talk of ChatGPT with Codex, they all can create code. So where you come in strong is how proficient are you in using this AI tool to create the best system, to create the best code, you know. So this is where prompt engineering comes in. And so as to in Copilot Studio, prompt engineering comes in by giving it instructions. How are we able to give it the best instruction for it to perform the best way possible? So after we've given it the best instruction, we have the knowledge. And what is knowledge? Knowledge is where I can be able to direct it. This is where you will get the information from. So to make sure that it doesn't get information from anywhere, we are only telling it, we are only pointing it to this place. So this is the place that you're going to get ABCD. This is the place that has all the resources. We can actually upload resources. We can actually upload documents. We can connect with other systems using APIs, using MCPs to make our agent richer. So apart from that, we have web search, and in web search, this is where we enable our agent to go get information outside the web. So any website that is available in the internet, it can be able to bring this knowledge and into our bot. So apart from that, we have tools, and tools are very important in Copilot Studio. So the importance of tools is it extends our agentic capability. So let's say, for example, when we went to our website, our bot is actually a plain bot, because its aim, its main aim is actually just to guide the users, and that's what we wanted to do. But let me imagine now, you are building an African stack. So this is an agent that you want to build a business. You are starting an e-commerce business, and in this e-commerce business, you have a lot of products that you're selling. So you want, whenever users come to your website, they select a particular product. And when they select this product, they can go ahead and check out. So how do they check out? So after we have the full flow of select a product, put it in the cart. After you put it in the cart, you proceed to checkout. And when you proceed to checkout, how do they pay? So having these tools, connecting to APIs, connecting to MCPs, connecting to other tools, it helps our agent becomes even better and even richer. So it extends the agentic capability from a chatbot to an agentic what? That's what I can say. So apart from that is triggers. And trigger, this is where we want our agent to work without us being in the loop. So let's say, for example, I want to, an example is I have an email, and in this email, I want to check who actually texted me, what do they want. So whenever I set up a trigger, whenever triggers comes into place whenever an action occurs that doesn't require my attention. So, for example, I have a new email, and this email comes into my mailbox. So this email will trigger my agent. So, for example, an email has come, and it requires me to actually book a meeting. So my agent will realize that there's an email that is available in your inbox. Check that email, check the content of these emails, and be able to see, oh, this user wants to schedule a meeting with you. So after it has checked those details, it will go to my calendar, and in my calendar, check the available slots. And when it finds an available slot, it actually books a meeting. So that's how triggers work. So triggers work automatically without the need of human interventions in that. So in agents, this is where we can be able to add another agent to make a multi-agent architecture. So that's the overview. Next, let's go to knowledge. So in knowledge, this is where we are able to add, to enrich the information that our website can be able to know. So there are many ways we can be able to add knowledge. The first thing is we can be able to upload files. So we can upload files to our agent. So when we upload files, our agent can be able to reason out of this knowledge. So in knowledge, it's like we are training our agent uh, we are giving it information, feeding it information, training it with what exactly we want. So there are many ways we can be able to add in knowledge. The first thing, you can always upload knowledge. Let's say, for example, you have a lot of PDFs, you have a lot of Excel documents. You can always go ahead, drag and drop or upload them using that. The next one, we can use OneDrive as a knowledge for. So, for example, I want to connect my personal OneDrive for my agent to be able to get knowledge out of that. We can connect OneDrive. Next is SharePoint. So let me explain how OneDrive and SharePoint work. So we always store these files. So for organization, they do store their files in SharePoint. That's like an organizational website where they store all their documents. And in OneDrive, this is where I store my personal documents. So in my personal OneDrive, I have a lot and a lot of documents. So when I connect my OneDrive to my agent, I can actually ask about any documents that is available back in my OneDrive. So let's say, for example, I have a particular document. I can't really remember the name that I saved it. And because I have a lot of documents, I cannot find it. So when I have this connection, I can always go ahead, ask my Copilot agent. So I have a document about Ujuzi Hub training. So can you help me locate it? It will go ahead, look for that connection and be able to get it. Same as SharePoint, it can be able to go fetch that document and bring it back. So apart from that, we can always connect knowledge using public websites. So in public websites, this is where you can be able to add in a public website. So for example, in our website, I can always come here, copy that link, and I can add that it's already added. So I can always add a website and it will fetch all the information that is available in that website and bring it back to our agent. The next way we can be able to add knowledge is SharePoint. We've already talked about SharePoint. Next is an Azure AI search. So an Azure AI search, this is where we actually store documents and put them in chunks, so it can be able to get those index data back to our Copilot Studio. Same as Dataverse, we can connect to databases and so forth. Apart from that, we can also connect with data that aren't really in the Microsoft ecosystem, such as Snowflakes. We can always connect with Databricks. We can do Oracle databases, and we can do a custom build search. So all in all, just to summarize what knowledge in Copilot Studio is, knowledge is just to train our model to be able to understand the context, to be able to understand what is it, the purpose, and yeah, to get the information, all information that you want your Copilot agent to have. That's where you add it through knowledge. And the next one is tools. So in tools, this is what I was talking about, extending agentic capabilities. So there are various ways we can be able to add in tools. So we can be able to add in tools through, the first one is agent flow. What's an agent flow? So agent flow is like a process. Let's say, for example, every day, when Edgar wakes up, the first thing he'll do, go to the toilet, brush the teeth. After brushing the teeth, I go to the bathroom, freshen up, take a quick shower. After taking a shower, I go have breakfast. After having breakfast, I prepare, then I leave for work. So, that's like a repetition of the things I always do. And when this thing get repeated, it can always get automated. So for example, whenever I get into work, the first thing I do is I'll open my email. After opening an email, I'll always see there's this customer who wants me to schedule a meeting. So he or she will want me to talk about one project that we have, the deliverables that we have, and the most thing that always takes us back and forth is finding a particular time to schedule this meeting, because the time that he or she will be free, I'll be having a meeting. The time that I'll be free, he or she will be having a meeting and so forth. So having a flow in this example is whenever an email from that customer appears, my agent will be able to know. So the first thing, the email appeared. So the email appeared, and the user wants me to schedule a meeting with them. So it will check my calendar, check the available time or the available slot that is in my calendar, check the available slot that is in the user's calendar, see or the one that is matching, schedule a meeting and send emails. You see, that's a process. That's a process. It's an automated process. So when we have this flow, it actually automates these things, and it will actually make my life easier, because now it has actually reduced my time, because now I won't have to go through all the many emails that I have. I won't go to my calendar to see what time that I have to go to a meeting. You see, so that's an agent flow. So the purpose of an agent flow is actually, in simple terms, to automate repetitive activities. So we can always add in agent flows. So for example, the example that I gave you, using an agent flow, it can automate that entire uh, activity. And you see, it actually saved my time. I can now go ahead and focus on other important tasks. So the next thing is prompt, and this is what I was talking about. Prompt engineering is the most important thing. Prompt engineering is the most important thing. So prompts in Copilot Studio, this is a way that we are telling Copilot Studio how to analyze specific tasks. So for example, let's say this is an example. We have our agent, and in our agent, it wants to, let's say for example, I have a 600-page document. Like me having to go through all these pages will actually take me a lot of time. So I can always give a prompt like, when documents this big are actually attached, this is how you can be able to analyze them. This is how you can be able to summarize. This will be the most important parts in that document. And we can tell it to generate visuals that are in that document to better explain what that document really talks about. So when we give it prompts, we always give prompts in natural language. So in natural language, it can be able to transform text, it can be able to transform documents, it can be able to analyze image, it can be able to, do code generation, can be able to generate code. And so that's all about prompts. And next one is the MCP. So MCP, that's a standard protocol for connecting to various sources. We'll discuss about MCPs in depth, because now it's very important that you really understand what MCPs are, how we can be able to connect to MCPs. So MCPs actually, in this case, they help keep the context whenever you want to call an application or whenever you want to call a service. We always use the MCPs. So the next one is computer use. And in computer use, this was one of my best feature in Copilot Studio, to be honest. So in computer use, this is where I can be able just to give my agent an instruction, and it will do everything. Like, it controls my computer. I'll actually do a demo on computer use, because now that will amaze you. So in computer use, it acts like a robot. It's a robotic process. So it can be able to control anything in my computer, create agents. Let's say, for example, I have, let me showcase you how computer use works. So in computer use, we can always first give it instruction. Let's say, for example, I want it to let it go to visit a particular website and add an invoice. It can be able to do that. Let's say, for example, in invoice processing, it can be able to extract invoice data, let's say from PDFs, and enters it into a web form. It can also do data entry and data extraction. So I want you to remember all of this and without human intervention. So my agent can be able to do everything without me being actually present in there. So this is one thing that I really must show you. It actually excited me. So apart from that, we have many connectors. So actually, we have a lot of connectors that we can add into Copilot Studio. So this will be in depth. We'll actually go with it. So that's all about tools, and tools is the most important thing about Copilot Studio. The rest, we can always start by just creating an agent, giving it description, instruction, giving it knowledge, and we're done. But now, when we want to make it even more richer, to make it even more complex, and make it the best, this is where tools come. Tools will make our agent be the best agent that ever existed. So apart from tools, we have agents. And in agents, this is where I can have my agent call another agent. So for example, I have these agents in my environment. So sorry, I have the Afya Care agent. I have this agent I was creating, but it's not published. We have the Mela AI. So what does agent do? Let's say, for example, uh, I have a lot of agents, I have a lot of workforce. So the first agent is an email management agent. So an email management agent is one that whenever an email appears, it always tells me about the new emails, the important emails, the emails that I've missed, replies to some emails. Actually, it can draft an email, reply back. That's an email management agent. The next agent is, let's say, for example, my call agent that will always look at my calendar, see the times that I'm available, look at my planner, see the tasks that I have available that day. So I have that different agent. The next agent is, let's say, for example, my social media agent. So my social media agent will always do the regular posting for me. So whenever I want to do a post, it can always go ahead, publish that in all my social medias. It can help me to get new people who are interested in my products. It can be able to help me email my prospects. So now when I want to bring all these agents together, this is how we can be able to do this. So I can be able, using this, I can be able to now call my email management agent, to call my planner agent, to call my social media agent, and all will work as one. So that is known as agentic orchestration. So it's like having your workforce. Now imagine you're the boss and you have people who always do your regular tasks. So for example, that person is doing research for me, that agent is doing coding for me, the next agent is doing the coding review. Now imagine you're the boss. Now you just did you finish the research? Now that research you give it to the coding agent. The coding agent creates the entire agent, and after that coding agent is complete, it gives the coding reviewer agent. So that's how they work, and they work as one agent. So that's how we can be able to call all these agents and work as one agent. So that's how we can be able to do. And we also have the option of calling agents that are not only in Copilot Studio. We can call agents from Microsoft Fabric. We can call agents from Microsoft Foundry and agent to agent protocols. We will do all this in depth as we will be proceeding. The next part is topics. And here in topics, this is where you can control how you are the workflow. let's say, for example, let me go back to this and let me go here. Yes, I want to start the conversation. So I want you to notice this. I went ahead and told this agent to start over, and it asked me, "Are you sure if you want to restart the conversation?" I clicked yes, and it asked, "What can I help you with?" Let me say, I want to create. Let's see what it will do. So yeah, to connect with the mentor, start by joining the community. So that's the process that I'm talking about. So this is the topic. So in topics, it describes how my agent flows. So when a user wants this, how do you direct them to this? When a user wants to order, let's say, for example, a chapati, how do you give them the menu and tell them, a chapati in our business costs actually 20 shillings. So this is how we control the flow of how the agent answers some particular questions. It's like those Q&A. We all know that, for example, in the Kenyan context, whenever you have a shop, we always have everyone come and ask, how much is this product? How much is this product? How much is this product? So using topics, we can actually automate that. So whenever a new customer comes, there's always be a button that they can go and click and or just ask how much is this product, and it will be able to tell them each and every details about that product, because we know those are repetitive things that we predict that will happen. So that's how topics are. So let's say, for example, I want someone to order pizza in my website. It can be able to do that. So I can name this topic pizza. Oh, sorry. I can name that pizza, and yeah, it will go ahead and create that topic. So in a topic, it will, so we will do this in depth. So for example, you see, it was able to create that entire flow. So when a user wants to order a particular a type of pizza, the agent will ask, which pizza would you like to order? Same as in our project, I told it to start over. It went and asked, "Are you sure you want to start over?" I told it yes. So how can that? So that's the flow of the agent. So when we come back to this, you can be able to see when the user wants pizza, the agent will ask, which type of pizza do you want? And it gives the option. So it gives the option for margarita, we have pepperoni, and we have veggie pizza. So whenever they choose, the agent asks for the number. And after the number, it asks for the quantity, and it goes ahead and tells the user, you have ordered this type of pizza, this type of number, and that was your order. So that's how topics work. Topics just automate, or they help to create the flow of how the agent knows how to handle some particular task. So in quick, I see time is really flying. I don't want to save that. So let me remove that here. Let me go back to topics. So in topics, we can always direct the topics that we have, such as conversational boost, the conversational stuff. You can see that's how I told it to start every conversation. Like, hello, my name is this bot. Welcome to NCO Chain Labs. When we come back to this agent, you can be able to see that's exactly how it started that conversation. Hello, I'm Make. I welcome to MCO Chain Labs. So that's how we direct this agent uh, to uh, to work. Yeah, work was the word I was looking for. To work and to flow. So we will do that in depth. And apart from that, okay, sorry about that. So in activity, we can be able to see the number of activities of how these. Oh, sorry, just one moment. Yeah, sorry about that. And yeah, so in activity, we can be able to see the activity of how this agent is being used. The past activities so far, this hasn't been used. The next one is evaluation. I can be able to see how many people have used it, have really or in evaluation, we can actually do testing to see if it's actually working the way I intended it to work. So how is it going to respond to these users? So whenever it breaks, I can be able to catch it as quick as possible and actually fix that as soon as possible. Apart from that, we have analytics. And in analytics, I can be able to see how many people are actually using my agent. So for example, you can see, I can be able to see the peak times. This is in the past 1 week. I can always see in the 1 month, in the past 1 month, I can be able to see how many users are actually interacting with this agent, which questions are they asking, how can I be able to help them even more. So that's how we can be able to actually track the usage of our agent. Apart from that, we have channels. And in channels, this is where now we expose, in this part, we have completed the creation of this agent. So after we have done the creation of the agent, we gave it instructions, we've connected it to external tools. How now do we expose it? So how do our users go ahead and actually use this agent? So we can be able to show that agent using a website. For example, the one we have in our labs. That's how we can be able to expose our agent. We can have it as an application. So an application, whether in WhatsApp, you can see we have WhatsApp. We can expose this agent to WhatsApp. We can expose this agent to Facebook. We can have it in Slack. We can have it in Telegram. We can have it in as a web application. Yeah, so forth and so forth. So this is where now, after everything is complete, now we want it to release it back to the users. So apart from that, let me go to settings. And in settings, these are now the most important part. So important parts is the first one is generative AI. How do we want our app to be used by to be enabled by AI? So, for example, if I want it to be fully AI enabled, whenever one wants ask a question, AI must be there to answer that question. That's now we use the generative AI orchestration. So we have two types of AI orchestration. So we have classic orchestration. So in classic orchestration, now we have to develop everything from A to Z. So this is where we use topics. So when we use topics, we use classic orchestration because now in topics, the topics controls the flow of the agent. But when we use dynamic orchestration, it can be able to know when a user asks about this, it will be able to get that information either from topics or either from the knowledge source. Apart from that, we can be able to connect other agents, we can be able to connect other models, we can be able to uh, actually tell it how should it format some responses. We can give it content moderation. Do we want it to be precise, to be uh, to give a lot of details, to give minimal details? That's where we control it from moderation. Apart from that is user feedback. How does it collect user feedback? You see, from every interaction, it asks for a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It asks about how do I feel about that conversation. So that's how we can be able to collect feedback from our agents. Next is knowledge. You can be able to allow it to use grounded knowledge. You can allow it either to use web application knowledge. Another thing, we can allow knowledge, either we want people to upload documents to it. So, for example, now in our WhatsApp, can people upload a document and ask questions about that document? That's how we enable knowledge. The next one is called interpreter. How do we make it understand really in depth what uh, this person wants to generate? Do we want our agent to generate back a code? Do we want our agent to generate back a document? So that's how we use this code interpreter. Apart from that, we have such the worker queue. Worker queue is where now we want to connect with our work knowledge. So apart from that is security. And in security, this is where we actually decide whether we want people to log in to use our application or let it be free. So we have three ways of authentications. So no authentication, like for example, our website, we don't want anyone to log in to use our knowledge. So these are public facing agents. So for public facing agent, anybody can be able to access them. So we can actually have them, people, before a person uses agent, they can actually go ahead and log in either with Microsoft or authenticate manually. So apart from that, we have various skills. We can be able to enable voice. We can be able to enable languages. We can, yeah, we have a lot of things, adding application insights and everything. So I thought I'd do a little demo, but we are out of time. So we will have a lot of demos in Copilot Studio and how we can build huge agents, because there's so much I can show you in Copilot Studio. And honestly, I can't wait. I really can't wait to show you what you can be able to do with this. But for today, that's all we have. And thank you so much for uh, clearing your schedule so that you can join us. I really appreciate that. So, in case you have any question, you can feel free. We have around 6 minutes. Just feel free to ask anything that you have. Any question, any clarifications? Yes, Caroline, you can go on mute. So if you're talking, we can't hear you. And you can also ask questions back in chat.
I have a question. I don't know if you
Yes,
can
please.
hear me.
Yes, I can.
For
Yes,
the
go
for
ahead.
the yeah for the courses in the platform,
Mm-hmm.
is there some sort of limit to the progress I should have, or I can just continue doing the going through the materials as much as I want to?
Yeah,
Do
just
I need to
feel
like
free, feel
align with?
free. Yeah, you can always
Okay.
just go ahead and do everything, because so the first month we have low code environment. So these are for the people who are actually starting up. So if you feel we are pro, we are going to actually provision the pro code. So that's if you want to access Microsoft Foundry, you want to start using LLM, so such as will provision GPT-4. So if you want to start building, we will send those to you. So if you feel that you can actually go further, yeah, feel free. Yeah. So yeah, and we also have a question in chat, just a clarification. Do you ensure the agent has access to Chrome web for information. Yes, actually. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about in here. So there are two ways we can add knowledge. So there are two ways we can add knowledge. It's either we point it or we tell it to source it from the web or we tell it to use its own general knowledge. So when we allow so we use Bing search. So when we allow Bing search, it can be able to get information that is available online. So it can get any information about anything you ask. But for most organizations, they actually don't want to use the websites and the LLMs. They want to make it like the data I've trained it with, like anything that I have given it, I want it only to use that. So we can restrict it to use the knowledge we gave it, and we can extend it to use its own general knowledge and make it even further to use public knowledge. So those are the three ways we can actually make it get those information. Yeah, and another question from Brian. You can go and mute.
Thank you. My question was on the account,
Mm-hmm,
that we are using, so that when we come to the publishing of once we have created the agent,
mm-hmm,
I think I once tried this. I don't know the admin rights that I had for my account back then, but then my issue was when it came to publishing, it did not allow me to go through. So I'm just wondering, these accounts that we are using for Makocheng Labs,
mm-hmm.
what is it that they have that we are able to publish, or is it the admin should uh, allow that to publish the agents, or what happens
Yes,
around that?
yeah. So that's the admin. Let me go to admin page. So when we go to the admin portal, we can actually control which accounts are able to uh, publish agents, which are accounts are able to do the things that we want. So it's all on admin settings. So let me log in and show you where that. So currently the accounts that we gave, you can be able to publish those agents that you build. So like here in Copilot Studio, we can actually monitor and give uh, the it should be in manage. Let me show you where that is. Manage Copilot Studio. Yeah, so in manage and internal settings, we can actually see the people who can be able to build this agent. So this is where we enabled it. So this means that anyone who has MCO chain accounts can be able to publish these agents. So that was the biggest difference with the previous accounts that we had. Yeah. So because we are out of time, I need to drop for another meeting. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us today. I really appreciate it. It has been a pleasure. So thank you so much. See you next time.